Breaking news tonight. A magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck offshore, east of Butuan, Surigao del Sur, at 10:37 p.m. local time, Philippines, sending shockwaves of fear and confusion across the nation. The ground heaved violently, buildings swayed as if made of paper, and chaos erupted across Mindanao, with terrified residents pouring into the streets. This was no minor tremor, but a powerful, terrifying event that left destruction in its wake and shattered the sense of safety for thousands. Reports are coming in of widespread damage, collapsed homes, shattered infrastructure, and a tsunami warning that has sent thousands fleeing for their lives. The quake struck without warning, jolting people from their beds in the dead of night, leaving families scrambling to escape as their homes shook around them. Sirens blare, alerts flash. Tsunami. Warning: evacuate coastal areas, move to higher ground. The urgency is unmistakable. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology has issued its highest alert, warning of destructive waves that could strike at any moment. The threat is real and imminent for communities along the Mindanao and Philippine seas, where anxious residents are watching the horizon in fear. The clock is ticking for those in harm's way, every second counting as families rush to safety with only what they can carry. This disaster comes less than a day after another significant quake shook the same region, compounding fear and instability, and leaving many still reeling from the previous shock. The ground was already unstable. Now, a second, more powerful quake has struck, triggering landslides and making rescue efforts even more dangerous. The Philippines is no stranger to natural disasters, but tonight, the nation is on edge, united in anxiety and uncertainty as the situation unfolds. We're witnessing a potential humanitarian crisis unfold in real time, as shelters fill and aid organizations scramble to respond to the growing needs. Our coverage will take you to the heart of the disaster, showing the devastation up close and the resilience of those affected. We'll hear from those affected, and the officials racing to respond as they coordinate rescue and relief efforts under immense pressure. Stay with us as we bring you the latest on this unfolding emergency, with updates coming in by the minute. The Pacific Ring of Fire has once again shown its fury, reminding us of the immense power beneath the Earth's surface. Mindanao, home to millions, is now the epicenter of fear and uncertainty, as families cling to hope and await news of loved ones. Families are running, not knowing if they'll have a home to return to, their lives upended in a matter of moments. The immediate threat is not just aftershocks, but the sea itself. Tsunami waves that could devastate entire coastal communities. This is a moment of pure terror for everyone in the region. Stay with us as we continue to follow this developing story, bringing you the voices and images from the heart of the crisis. Here's what we know. A magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck offshore, east of Butuan, Surigao del Sur, at 10:37 p.m. local time. The quake's shallow depth, just 26 kilometers, made the shaking especially violent. Residents describe a terrifying side-to-side motion that lasted over a minute. Aftershocks, some exceeding magnitude 5, continue to rattle the region. Each tremor brings new fear and the risk of further damage. The psychological toll is immense. People are caught in a cycle of terror, waiting for the ground to stop moving. A quake of this size releases energy equivalent to hundreds of atomic bombs. It can reshape landscapes, trigger landslides, and cause buildings to collapse. Much of the region's infrastructure isn't built to withstand such force. This was a direct hit on a vulnerable area. The combination of power, shallow depth, and offshore location created a perfect storm. The shaking was just the beginning. The most immediate threat after the quake: a tsunami. Warnings were issued for the southern Philippines and nearby countries. The eastern coast of Mindanao faces the greatest danger. Waves of 1 to 3 meters, or higher, could sweep away everything in their path. Evacuation orders are clear. Get to higher ground now. Sirens, church bells, and emergency alerts are spreading the word. The science is simple. A powerful shallow quake under the sea can displace massive amounts of water. As tsunami waves approach shore, they grow taller and more destructive. The window to escape is terrifyingly small. Minutes, not hours. For many, it's a race against time in the dark, on damaged roads. Memories of past tsunamis haunt officials and residents alike. The fate of thousands depends on how quickly they can reach safety. Every second counts. As the shaking finally stopped, panic erupted in the streets, the air thick with confusion and fear. Coastal communities rushed to evacuate, families running in the dark, clutching children and whatever essentials they could grab in their haste. Traffic jams clogged escape routes. Those without vehicles fled on foot, carrying the elderly, guiding children, and urging neighbors to hurry. Power outages plunged the evacuation into near-total darkness, lit only by flashlights, phone screens, and the occasional car headlights. Strangers helped each other, united by fear and the instinct to survive, offering hands to those who stumbled or lagged behind. Many headed for evacuation centers or simply ran uphill away from the sea, desperate to reach higher ground before the next disaster struck. "We just ran," one resident said, voice trembling. "We didn't take anything. We heard tsunami and ran for the hills, not looking back." The choice was brutal. Abandon everything for a chance to live, leaving behind homes, memories, and possessions scattered in the rush. For fishing communities, the sea is both life and threat, a source of livelihood, but now a looming danger in the darkness. This is the second quake in less than a day. Trauma is building, nerves frayed, and hope tested with every aftershock. Children cry, adults try to stay calm, all waiting and praying on hillsides, clinging to each other for comfort and reassurance. The fear is palpable, the uncertainty overwhelming, as faces reflect the terror of the unknown. They watch the dark ocean, hoping the waves never come, hearts pounding as they wait for news, for safety, for dawn. As dawn breaks, the devastation becomes clear. Roads are split open, bridges collapsed, and landslides have isolated communities. Buildings, hospitals, hotels, homes are cracked, leaning, or reduced to rubble. Power outages cripple communication and access to water. First responders face overwhelming challenges. Fires, collapsed structures, blocked roads. The tsunami evacuation took priority overnight. Now, the focus shifts to rescue and recovery. The region is vast, with many remote, hard-to-reach areas. Economic impact is immediate. Fishing boats damaged, markets destroyed, commerce halted. For a region already struggling, this is a devastating blow. The cost of rebuilding will be enormous. Livelihoods are shattered, and the disruption will last for months, if not years. The earthquake shook more than the ground, it shook the foundations of life here. This disaster strikes a region already battered by crisis. Just hours before, a 6.9 quake hit, weakening buildings and nerves. Weeks earlier, typhoons brought floods, destroying villages and crops. Emergency services were already stretched thin. Evacuation centers, still housing flood victims, are now overwhelmed by new evacuees. The cumulative effect is crippling. Resources, personnel, and time are all in short supply. First responders are exhausted, facing impossible conditions. The central government is mobilizing support, but help will take time to arrive. The Philippines, on the Pacific Ring of Fire and in the typhoon belt, is among the world's most disaster-prone nations. Climate change and shifting tectonic plates make recovery even harder. For Mindanao, it feels like a relentless assault from nature. Amid chaos and confusion, voices of both fear and courage emerge, echoing through crowded evacuation centers and darkened streets. On a hillside above Butuan, families huddle together in blankets, shivering not just from the cold, but from uncertainty. They share stories of survival, comforting each other with memories and hope. Even as the night stretches on, one man clung desperately to a doorway as his house groaned and trembled, convinced for a moment that it was the end. The terror of that instant lingers in his eyes. Now, he and his family stand together, staring anxiously at the coastline, praying that the waves don't come, that the sea remains calm. Local officials plead for urgent help: food, water, medicine, anything to ease the suffering. Communication lines are down, making coordination even harder. Social media becomes a lifeline in the darkness. We're on the third floor of the school. The shaking was so strong. Please pray for Butuan. One message reads, desperate and raw. These raw, unfiltered messages cut through official reports, revealing the true human reality behind the headlines and statistics. Each post is not just a message, it's a family, a group of friends, waiting in darkness for dawn and for news, clinging to hope. Yet, resilience shines through the fear. Neighbors help neighbors, strangers share water and blankets, and small acts of kindness become lifelines. Community leaders step up, organizing relief, calming frightened children, and keeping hope alive in the face of overwhelming odds. The Filipino spirit of bayanihan, communal unity and cooperation, is on full display. as people come together to help one another. They face the unimaginable, but they face it together, drawing strength from each other and refusing to give in to despair. This strength, this unity, will be crucial in the long and difficult recovery ahead, as communities begin to rebuild from the rubble. Tonight, survival is all that matters. The world is watching, bearing witness to both the suffering and the resilience of Hinatuan's people. The Philippine government has activated its highest emergency protocols. President Marcos assures Mindanao help is on the way. The Armed Forces, Coast Guard and Social Welfare Department are mobilizing relief and rescue teams. Coast Guard vessels and Air Force cargo planes are ready to deliver supplies and personnel. The challenge reaching isolated communities cut off by damage. The Department of Social Welfare is distributing food, water, and tents, but the scale of need is enormous. International aid groups and the Red Cross are monitoring and preparing to assist. Relief operations are underway, but officials worry supplies may run short. The focus search and rescue, restoring power, and meeting urgent needs. For hundreds of thousands displaced, every hour counts. As night falls, uncertainty grips Mindanao. The tsunami warning remains in effect. The full impact is still unknown. Thousands wait on high ground, unsure if they have homes to return to. Priorities: confirm safety, search for missing, restore basic services. Aftershocks threaten rescue efforts and add to the danger. The next 24 hours will reveal the true cost of this disaster. Recovery will take years, rebuilding homes, infrastructure, and lives. The psychological scars will linger long after the ground stops shaking. The resilience of the Filipino people is legendary, but it's being tested like never before. We'll continue to bring you updates as this story unfolds.